it says to the cloud or record to this computer. So my question to you, Navar, is what's the difference recording to this computer versus recording to the cloud? And what do you think I should do? Yeah, can you have your audio or your mic so we can hear you better? Because you're kind of... So basically, recording to this computer on Zoom means that the recording that I will do will be stored on my personal computer. Recording to the cloud means that the cloud really just means there's an internet connection through a browser to another server, another computer that will store the recording. Recording to the cloud, it means it's Zoom's cloud. So Zoom has servers, I don't know where, I don't know if they have their own, I imagine they have their own computers, or they can basically use something like Amazon or Google or Microsoft to record. So in that case, Navar, what do you think I should do? To this computer or to the cloud? To the cloud, because I want, you don't have access to my personal computer. No one does in this class, unless I gave it to you, but you do not. So I want to record to the cloud. And then when I record to the cloud, I see recording. And on your end, then, Lily, what did you see anything flash up on your screen? You record. So this is why I'm emphasizing today. I record every lecture. And if you do not want to be recorded, I suggest you not, they're asking you that question, you're giving permission. You understand that, Lily? If you do not want to be recorded, you should not be in my section. Everybody clear on that? Because I'm recording. The reason I'm recording is that it's a way for me to go back and see what it is. And more importantly, if something was not clear, you for some reason were really sick and you couldn't be there, you can get to see the recordings. You understand that? Also, then, Lily, besides recording via Zoom, I in Zoom, within Zoom, they allow me to live stream to either Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or do my custom live streaming service. I have a channel on Zoom for this class, so I go live on YouTube. And when I go live on YouTube, I basically choose my account, and then I have a channel that's called It Is Training, and I can do it public or private. I go public with it. So Zoom prepares a live stream to go to YouTube. And sometimes it basically has, Zoom has its own servers, and guess what? YouTube has their own servers. It's within it that it's available. So if I share my screen, what do you see then, Lily? Do you see my screen? Right. I see you off to the left, and you see me in the corner of Dr. Rush, right? And if you see that in the corner, and if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you see that my hand is not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see your face there, Lily? And it's very delayed. So that's important to know. Sometimes it doesn't matter, right? If people are viewing us all over the world, we give them, they can subscribe to our channel, right, Lily? It doesn't really matter. But if I'm doing, in this case, live trading and you're following me as the leader, and I say, okay, now we're going to invest, we're going to basically invest in Mobileye, and in 30 seconds we're going to sell it. If we do high frequency trading, that will be a problem, right? For that type of thing. But for, let's say, for accounting or something like that, or for marketing, I want to be my brand, I don't have to leave. What I like about this in Zoom is I don't have to upload anything. It's already uploaded to my YouTube account and subscribe to it. So anything that I do, basically, Lily, is we're going to be required that you guys do. What I know how to do, I want to share it with you, and you will then basically know the ins and outs of Zoom, not only just being a participant, but being a host, a co-host. And Daniel, I have to make you a host, right? Make you a co-host. So I can promote people to be hosts and co-hosts. We can do remote and things like that. So what you'll see then is I also have YouTube recordings, and I have the URL for the YouTube recordings. I want to make this clear, everyone. You see that, Navarre? I want to make it clear to everyone how I'm operating this class. If people don't want to be recorded, they don't want to be on YouTube, things like that, there are many other sections that I guarantee you they don't record anything. And they may not even call on you spontaneously about that. Okay, so that's one of the requirements that I have in the class. For my background also, I graduated from Tel Aviv University. For my undergraduate and my graduate work, I did in one of my favorite cities in the world, the University of Texas at Austin. I love Austin. So I was there, and I've taught in a number of universities. Unfortunately, I think about those fires. I taught at UCLA and USC and University of Maryland, and also overseas as well in Europe. And I wish everyone from, Southern California, breaks my heart to see that. But that is what I'm doing. Also, how I operate in this class, I try to use some of my research to say, how do you do a hybrid combination of getting people involved in online versus basically in person, combining that, what I call a hybrid approach. So I try to make it as interactive as possible, and I like to get information from you and feedback from you and ways to do that. What I also do is I have a teaching assistant. My teaching assistants come from my classes. The most motivated students usually become my teaching assistants. Those that are curious, those that want to learn, those that are conscientious become what I call my teaching assistants in training. So for instance, those students that have those attributes, I ask them, or you volunteer to say, do you want to be a teaching assistant in training? And that is kind of like to be getting the assignments ahead of time and helping, being kind of a lead and helping other students. A year ago, I had Daniel, who was really, I met also, it's almost like, how did we meet? Kind of those students that come early to assign, I met him, and he has a lot of experience, and he became my teaching assistant in training. That's a non-paid position, but it's a way in which kind of to stand out and help other students. And he was so successful that last semester he was promoted. I asked him to get a paid position as teaching assistant. And he did an awesome job in basically improving the class, getting on the side of what is the student's perspective. Sometimes I say, you guys know things about the university of students that I have no clue about. And I look at it at a different point of view. So this semester, I've promoted Daniel to be a lead teaching assistant. So I'll have him introduce yourself. So we have Daniel, who's going to be part of this class that will be not only moderating our sessions, but will be helping me and also kind of being a direct line to you. So I'll have Daniel introduce himself. Daniel, can you just take a minute or so to? And one of the things that I've always told students is they reach out to my teaching assistant. We also have Sebastian Hernandez, who will also be my teaching assistant this semester. And I always tell my students is don't take advantage of them. That sometimes, an assignment is due, let's say on Wednesday, and they're, texting Daniel at 12:30 at night saying, help us. So I tell them that number one, their other courses take priority, and number two is they have to have respect to the students, and the students have to respect them as well. So we'll do that. So for instance, in this case, I'll ask then students that are interested to even today to stay after class, and we'll discuss if they want to be already teaching assistants in training, basically helping out and getting the materials as well. Okay, any questions? And you can put that in the chat if there is. Daniel will be moderating it. So let's go to the essence of what I want to do today is go over the course and basically say, hey, is this the core? I'll give you an overview of how we're going to approach this course, the topics that we'll cover, and basically you get to decide, is this what you want to do? And if it is, then I expect you to basically dive in with your full strength to it. Okay? All right. So, and Sophia just sent in a message. I just want to say I have problems with Wi-Fi. Let me just tell you, we all have issues. And sometimes Daniel will attest, I have issues with my Wi-Fi. So you will see me disappear and then I'll come back, and others will do that. So we understand that. And sometimes what you want to be able to do is just let other people know on that. Okay. So everybody ready for this? So I'm going to share my screen. And in this case, what we'll do here is I'll go to Blackboard. Everybody got Blackboard? Everybody see it? Lily, you see what's up there? Do the same thing that I'm doing to make sure that we have it. The first thing you can see here is you have announcements, right? And in this case, Daniel was, I really appreciated, he took the initiative and sent out announcements to us. And if there's something special, we'll have those announcements as well. The course syllabus, let's start with that. Everybody wants kind of to see that. You'll see here, let me just even turn this off for a second so I see what you're seeing. I have, in this case, the course syllabus. Let's put that on the way. And then in terms of the course syllabus, you'll see I put it tentatively, this course syllabus sometimes in the way we may make certain adjustments, other things are fixed. I'm Dr. Sarah Rush, and I gave my introduction. This basically is my office location is remote. That means my office hours are after this class will usually end a bit early. If you have like quick questions, you have some issues that you want to stay with, we will be after class. Another note, you remember I talked about recording. Whenever I have my office hours after class, I do not record. Again, I respect your privacy and basically need to know, no one needs to know your issues or your problems unless it relates to many in the class. So remind me to make sure that when you're speaking to me after class that it is off, the recordings. Also, after my other class, right after this, right after that, I have open office hours for everyone, and here you can see the URL that you can get me in Zoom. And if those don't work, you can always email me, and this is the best email for me, and make sure you put in BT 210 and your section in the subject line. And if you want to see me for a special appointment, we can work that out as well, and we can work it out in Zoom. It works out well. Course materials are required. You need to have a computer or a laptop with a camera. You need to be able to show your face. Those that have some issues of being blurred, I know those are not your intention, but you need to work it out. And of course, unfortunately, you need an internet connection to see me. Wiley Plus Edition is the book we're going to be using. It's the 10th edition, and you have it right there. These are the basically array of topics that we'll be talking about, from security to AI. We'll be looking at recording systems, algorithmic automated trading systems, software, cloud. We're really going to emphasize a lot throughout the semester about artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks, generative AI, and we'll talk about agents as well. We talk about the Blackboard site. Ethics is basically, I expect everyone to follow the honor code, and if there's any cheating or something, I will not hesitate to be referred to the dean, but I don't like to waste my time doing that, and hopefully you will attend to this ethics policy. Attendance is required in this class. If you have some issues, you can let us know. Daniel or myself know that. Excused if you're seriously ill. There's religious, there's participating in activities. You can be excused in that case. One of the things about illness is, even if you have a cold, you're contagious. What I love about this course is that you can't infect me or anyone else in this class. So even though one thing that's great when students say, oh, the doctor told me I shouldn't be in physical class, you can be in my class. If there's any problem with misassignments and things like that, you need to contact me. You can read the rest. We're going to be doing some group projects where we'll have peer review. So I expect everyone to put their fair share in. A lot of times, if you've been in groups before, that is not the case. You will be penalized for not putting in your fair share. There will not be, exams will not be rescheduled, but you'll talk to me. We have 2 exams, and this is what I want you to note. The 2 exams are in person in the School of Business in room 240 in the lab. You must attend. I'll go over those dates and times with you. If you cannot make it, you know already you cannot make it, you cannot take this class. Class participation is critical to the success of this course. I'll be sometimes just calling on people, and in some classes I've seen they say, I don't want you to use a cell phone, I don't want you to use AI, I don't want you to use ChatGPT. In this class, it's just the opposite. When I'm bringing up a new topic, a new concept, and what I want you to do is do the opposite. I want you to search it. I want you to find out about it. If we're having some issues, I want you to go through that extra mile. So that's different here. If you have disabilities, I've already had some letters of accommodation for disabilities. I adhere to that quite well, but what I ask is that you join me in the class. So rather than doing it at the Office of Disabilities, you'll be doing it in the classroom with me, and I will give you extra time and I will accommodate your needs. Class recordings, like I say, sometimes they say we don't want to record. I record everything that I do, and you can via Blackboard is usually the easiest way to do it. We're even going to be trying to initiate with AI to summarize what's happening there. So you see the grading. The grading is exam 1 is 20%. Exam 2 is also 20%. The exams basically are two parts, part kind of from the readings and others from the projects and other discussions we do. The second part will be open-ended questions, short essay questions. I will give you a number of essay questions, like 4 or 5, and I will choose 2 of them, so the essay questions will not be, you'll have a way to prepare for them because this whole area is just so broad. Final projects is 25%. Assignments, many of them will be individual assignments, are 25%. And participation in the class, the quizzes and attendance, moderating groups, helping out, will be 10% of the grade. And you can see this is a weekly thing. We're starting on January 13th. Many of you know that Martin Luther King Day on next Monday is not class, so our assignment for today will be due on that Wednesday. You can see the topics we'll cover, from hardware to software. January 29th is the last day I put to drop without a W. I like people to, if they're going to be dropping, drop the first week so you can then move on. I think next Wednesday is the last day to add a course, so I suggest if you're considering dropping this one that you do it this week so you can get to another section or just take this course later. You can see we're talking about data management. We'll be looking at some screencasting, cloud assignments, knowing those collaboration tools. This is the key. March 3rd, put this in your calendar. March 3rd, exam 1 is in person in the SBA 204 computer lab. You must come on time. You'll have plenty of time to do that, but that is a time, and it's also a nice time that it's almost like hybrid a bit, that we get to meet each other in person. March 10th, that week is spring break, and then we go back to March 17th talking about some more AI tools, some cloud, web development, information systems, business analysis, and put also on your calendar April 21st. That Monday we will have exam 2. We will not have a final exam. We will just have 2 exams. The reason I don't have a final exam is I want you to concentrate on your final project, and on the last day of class, it's unbelievable, on April 28th, it will sneak up on us, is the last day of class will be, each group will make a presentation, and then your project completion of that will be at the time of your final exam. You'll upload it, you'll do a video presentation using Zoom after the 28th, and you'll be recording it to the cloud and uploading it in the proper format. Okay? So, any questions on the course syllabus? Anything in the chat, Daniel, that I need to know? Okay, so let's now go to the next part. So if I share my screen again, you'll see that that was the syllabus. You know, at the end of each class, I do attendance. And then, you know, the Zoom meetings, that's how you enter. And then this is the key. Everybody see that? This is the key of what's due. So after a while, it's hard to sometimes keep your concentration, or you miss class or something like that. You are responsible for the work. Even though you are not in class, or you were halfway in the class, you had to leave early, that is not an excuse for doing what's due. So instead of Monday, usually it's on a weekly basis. If we make the assignment on Monday, it's due the following Monday. But due to the holiday, we are having it due Wednesday, January 22nd. What is the assignment? You need to sign up for Wiley Plus Online. And basically, Wiley Plus Online, the easiest way is to go to Wiley Reading and Adaptive and click on a chapter. You will need to do the readings of Chapter 1, Introduction to Information Systems, the adaptive assignment complete, quizzes, and the register. So if I go to Wiley Reading and Adaptive, you'll see here issues. Sometimes Wiley has another server, not Zoom, that you need internet access to get to Wiley's adaptive assignments. What we found in the past is it's a bit flaky, that Wiley's construction of that adaptive assignment, and sometimes you'll get weird messages and you can't go beyond that. So what we suggest is, if you're using Safari or Firefox, switch to using Chrome browser. That seems to adjust some of those issues. If you're having issues, you need to document them. The other thing is, you will see for each assignment, for instance, this one, it says Chapter 1. If I go and click onto that folder, you will see then broken down to chapter segments. Why should I study information? Overview, for instance, computer-based systems. And hopefully the textbook will come in 1.2, overview of computer-based information systems, the learning, and there's a lot of readings here that you can see the difference between data, information, and knowledge, and you can absorb that information in any way that you find in your learning style. I don't direct that, it's up to you. But what is important is every week when we assign a chapter reading, that you do the InfoSystems adaptive test. So if I go to Information Systems Adaptive, Lily, what am I? Am I the student or the instructor? What role do I possess, Lily? I'm the instructor, and in this section, you are the student. So if I open an assignment, notice that it says on my end, one person is in progress and 9 have not started, right? And if I go to students, I'm just showing you my back end, which you don't have, because every time in information systems, we should have information that's relevant for the need to know of who it is. I need to know your progress. Lily, do you need to know everyone else's progress in the class? No. Do you need to know your progress? Of course you do, right? So in this case, I'll see that Alexa, Navar, Sophia, and Sebastian, who is in my teaching assistant, he tried out the quizzes just to make sure they work, and I see that already Brill and Caitlin and Blake and Avery, Jose and Lily. Lily, you did too. You've already signed up. So I don't have the same as you do, right? So in this case, in that information systems, if I'm stopped sharing, I have a different view, a different role than you folks do. So sometimes I need someone else to see what they are seeing, their point of view. So for instance, I asked Navar, share your screen. And that's what I'll be asking you in class. I'll be choosing, and if you share, and go back a bit, go back one level. And now let's go to Widely Adaptive. Good. And in this case, before you even start, Never. How did you register? Right, it's there for you, and then you just click. So if you click chapter one, you see the folder in chapter one. Now go down to adaptive systems. Well, even go to 1.2. Let's see if 1.2 works, or 1.3. We should see the book, right? Which you do, and you can see the readings. And then go back to where you were before and go to the adaptive information systems adaptive. You remember when I said open the assignment, I saw what everybody's progress. You shouldn't see everybody's progress, right? At this point, you should see the practice assignment, right? It says answer the questions. It has your current progress with 0, which is great in the first day of class. Nobody's behind, right? Everybody is up to speed, right? But then you should see estimated in the top there, it says estimated 16 to 28 questions. Why is it? It's adaptive, meaning based on how you do, it's going to give you the questions. Some people will get 28 questions, some people will get 16 questions. It's adaptive. You do that, and then it gets recorded. What you can do then, did you sign up for Wiley Plus? Did you use your credit card and pay something, Navar? You have the course pack. If you have the course pack, you don't have to worry about it. Also, if you're not sure if you want to take this course, you can sign up for the 14-day. So everybody even can sign up. If you don't have the course pack, you can sign up a free for 14 days, and then after 14 days it will ask you to upgrade, and either if you haven't done the course pack, and pay. I suggest people do the 14-day if you're not sure you want to be in the class. You know why? Pay, and then other sections or in a future semester they don't use the same things that I do. Okay, so thank you. So in that case, any questions on that? So you'll have it for each. You will then have, when we think about it, you will then be able to have that. So if I go back to J, that is in the what's due, it says the readings. I know what the readings were. We looked at it. Adaptive assignment, it's going to be at the end of the folder called Adaptive Information Systems Adaptive Assignment. And then you have quizzes. Quizzes reinforces also the concepts. So if I go to quizzes, you don't have anything in there. So I have the edit mode, you don't, because you're the instructor. I see that this chapter 1, I have to make it available to you. So what do I need to do? I need to edit the test options. And I'm showing you the background of it because later on, guess what, Navar? I'm going to have a separate section of Blackboard where everyone in the class is going to be a teaching assistant, and you'll be having all the roles and all the permissions of someone as an instructor or a teaching assistant. Really, the instructor and teaching assistant have the exact same permissions. The only difference is that I can delete people in the section, but the teaching assistants can delete students as well. They just cannot delete me. Okay, so I take highest precedent. So what does this tell me I have? It tells me show test description, open test in new window. I want to do that. And in this case, what do I want to do is I want to make available to students. Yes, easy. I want to add a new announcement, right, that will show that this is due. And what I do in this case on the quizzes, I make it possible for the quizzes for you as basically a way to know the material, but I allow you to do it open book. You can take as long as you want. I don't do it time stamped. And also, I give you 2 attempts. So I want you to get the material, but if you're going to take 2 attempts and it's open book, open notes, open, AI, your score should be your last grade attempted. So there's no, it should be no reason that you get, 80, 90 on the first try and 80 on the second try, and why would you get 80? You should be getting 100, not 80. So the last grade is attempted. I'm not going to even force completion that you have to complete in one sitting. I'm not going to set the timer. But let me point out, when we do our 2 exams in person, you will not have multiple attempts. It will be, and your grade that you get will be 1 attempt. You will be set a timer, and you will be forced completion, right? And it will be displayed, I guess, after. Yeah, but this is 2024, right? But it doesn't really matter, right? Right? And the due, right, anyways, it doesn't matter. So the due date will be then, at this time, the due date will be the 22nd, and the time, I guess we'll leave it at 5:49, but it should be before class, right? And then include this test in the grades. You can change that later, Daniel, for me, but I'm going to submit. But the key here is, now if I edit mode off, I should see then this quiz. So this quiz, you can take, how many times? You can take it twice, and it will be due. Any questions? The other part is PowerPoint and documents, and in the PowerPoint and documents, you see the PowerPoints that you can use for summarizing. But guess what? I don't know if a number of you have done that. A lot of the Gen AI, like the Chat GPTs and others, have ways in which you can feed it data and it will summarize for you. So in this case, you have the traditional Chapter 1 PPTX PowerPoint, and then also Daniel has saved this as a PDF, and some of you may even want to try this out, is we'll be trying out Google's Notebook LM. And basically, this will allow us to create a notebook, and Google will then use AI, and it will summarize for you, and then you can even also ask it. It will create then a study guide for you for the chapters, and you can even ask it to create multiple choice questions. And what we were thinking, Daniel, is what? That some of those multiple choice questions we could add to the exam, right, Daniel? Yeah, so we can do that. So that is what is in the PowerPoint. You can even use that as well. What else do I have here? I think that's basically it. What am I leaving out, Daniel? Okay. So, Emerson, what's due for next Wednesday? Let's review. Right, with the adaptive reading, the first chapter. And the first week is just kind of like easy. You know what I mean, Emerson? Just to get over, and then we'll start, even next week, we'll start getting into hands-on assignments. I'll be breaking you up into groups. We'll be looking at kind of like the back ends of Zoom, how to do the recordings, how to do remote training, how to do spotlighting of certain people. So you'll have the background of all the bells and whistles, and all this software changes all the time. Even this semester, Zoom changed where I had an AI companion. Do you guys have an AI companion on yours? Navar, do you have an AI companion on your features? Am I the only one that have? Do you have it, Daniel? Okay. It says Yeah. Well, also I asked for it in this version, so it's interesting to see. So if I had the AI companion, yeah. So basically, it AI companion is part of Zoom. It's relatively new, and they're trying then in this case do a meeting summary of whatever I say. You will receive a summary after this meeting, and I can then say that that summary will go only to the host, which I am the host, only meeting the hosts and co-hosts and alternate hosts, or only meeting host and meeting invitees in our organization, or all meeting invitees, including those outside of our organization. So it's trying to do generative AI and summarize. And just like Google Notebook, Google Gemini, ChatGPT as well. Okay? Questions. And Adam, do you have a camera? Adam Persky? Are you there, Adam? So sometimes people, I don't know if they're there, I don't know if they've gone away, I don't know if they went to a restaurant, or I don't know if kind of like the Wi-Fi broke out. Questions. So what do you think, Heidi? You got the feel of it? So what's your impression? Okay, and that's what we'll do. The whole idea is some people have more experience, but the idea is that you have to, roll up the sleeves, right? And basically get into it. And what we're going to be talking about is that if you do have issues, that we document it. And that's what we're going to be doing in the first couple of weeks, is learning how to document it appropriately. So what did someone ask there? Let me just answer those questions here. Would you mind showing me one last time how to access the assignments from the Blackboard? So let's do that. So Blake, do you know how to do that? Mine, access the assignments. Blake, okay, so why don't you share your screen and help then Sophia and some others on that. So Blake, why don't you share your screen? Yeah, everything is taking a moment, and that's what we want to look at in our class then, Heidi, is other people helping other students. So when Heidi, you don't know it, you want them to hold it, so what are you going to do? You're going to go into section J, and then you're going to go to what's due. Always on what's due, then Sophia, that's the key. What's due will tell you what you need to do. So anytime we've gone through so many different things, we go through it quickly. Things happen, I didn't keep up, always go to what's due. And then you'll see step by step, and then you'll see that what do we always have to do. Once you see that, then Blake, you're going to have to go to Wiley Reading Adaptive. Click on that. And chapter 1. And then you can go to adaptive. Let's see if that works. Yeah, you see that, the last one, chapter 1, and all the way at the bottom, that's always going to be your quiz. Big shakes, right? Once you got it, right, everything's easy when you know it, and then you go through it. Sophia, did that help? You can unmic yourself. Okay, and that's what you want to do. And once we get into groups, we always can contact, we're going to take everyone's email and their cell, and we'll be able to contact everyone to help each other out. And I think that's good that you asked, rather than going back and say, I don't know what we're supposed to do. One little thing, right now, it's no big deal. Okay? So I'm going to end early today. If you want to, you can stay with me. And Navarre, we're inviting you if you can stay on. Okay, we want to prepare for giving your presentation. And if anyone wants to ask me any questions, you can. But first, I want to do attendance. And let me share. And you'll realize that at the end of every class, I try to finish at 6 to allow for any questions and so forth. And I ask Daniel and some of your others put in the chat or something time to wrap it up. Because as you can see, I can talk for hours and hours. I'm so excited about all this. And now I want to go to check-in. I'm going to start check-in. And you know what I did this time, Daniel, and let me know, is I made it not timed. What do you think, Daniel? That way, in 2 minutes, oh, I missed it. What? Yeah, so it's 5281. So put in for the attendance 5281. Once you do that, I excuse you from the class. I'm looking forward to this session. I thank Daniel for helping us out and all the other students. You kind of see I just picked on some students, and basically I do it with just giving me feedback, and it's making it more interesting and seeing whether you got it and you can ask me some questions. Okay? So stay with me if you have extra questions. Otherwise, the number then we had the, you can put that even in the chat, 5281. Otherwise, those of you that want to stay with me for the semester, I'll see you on Wednesday. Otherwise, those that choose not to, that's fine too. And hopefully, you'll have a great semester wherever you are. Okay? So stay with me if you have extra questions on it. Otherwise, I'll see you next time we meet. You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay? And Mark and sure. Did you try to open up the in chapter 1, the folder, that adaptive? Did you click on it and see if it lets you take it? Perfect. Yeah, that's good. That's why I wanted to make sure on Wednesday, make sure everybody has it, and then we'll go on to some, material. Great, Anthony. Timothy. Great. Okay. My pleasure. And Mark, what's the question you have? Hi. Yes. Yeah, and the other one is open book too. The adaptive assignment is also open book. We're not, you know what I'm saying? But the exams themselves will not be open book, Mark. You got it. But for practicing, I don't see why not. Makes sense to me. Just that it makes sense. All you want to make sure is that you understand the material, and we all figure it out in different ways. And it's just for a foundation. My pleasure. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording. You'll have to always remind me when we're in this, unless it's fine. Okay, Mark. We'll see you then. We got it. Bye-bye. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, wow. So what you think, Navar? What? Yeah, and it sounds like you really can contribute quite a bit. And it really can kind of fit with what you do. So what we'd like to do is invite you to be our teaching assistant in training. For so that you don't have to be scared. I see your face kind of going like, what does that mean? But basically, what that means is sometimes Daniel will reach out to you, and before we give an assignment, he'll reach out and show it to you. So you can give him feedback. Oh, this is not clear, or I had some problems. And sometimes, if you have time, you can even do it earlier than the other students, if you have time. And then the other thing is when we do breakout rooms, since you have some experience also with setting up a website and having some experience that you'll help out, where you'll go to the different groups. What else, Daniel? Is there anything else? You've been a teaching assistant, what, in training? What else? And you'll be reporting to Daniel mostly. I'll be giving you things, but take Daniel's contact information and you'll be reporting to him. He'll be, since he's the lead teaching assistant, and then you'll meet also Sebastian, who's also was just like you, but from last semester, he's now graduated to being teaching assistant this semester, so he was just like you. And then Daniel will reach out. Anything else, Daniel, that you'd like to let? And then he'll reach out probably every week almost, I think, of giving you, you know what I mean? Okay, so great. And then, so basically, Navar, maybe what I'd like you to do is maybe in the beginning of next class, when we kind of do the introduction, you can just give like a 5 minute kind of just what you've been doing, why you chose entrepreneurship and kind of like your business model. Are you doing this alone or are you doing this with others? Right, fantastic. So maybe we can figure out, and we did that last semester too. You remember, Daniel, with Andres? Andres wanted to be, we had another student that wanted to be a consultant to businesses on Gen AI. So he did his project around that, but he did it separately from his business. So we'll see what you have, and then maybe something to supplement to see where it fits in our class. You know what I mean? We don't want to take your business. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll hear it. So what do you think about that, Daniel? Don't you think it'd be interesting just to see what he has? I like it. Yeah. So great, fantastic. Okay, and where are you from? I mean, where did you live before? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, and your family was N- India and Nepal? It's funny, I have some friends, they're from PhD students, they're from Nepal. Yeah, here. Yeah, and they were coming. They're doing physics. What? Okay, so now you're in the Grove? Okay, great. And what does your family do? What do they do? Duty free. Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, well, welcome, and you're welcome as for a teaching assistant too. We're happy to have you on board. Okay, Navar. Thank you. Ciao. Bye. Yeah, very. Yeah, yeah, no, no, it's and the first woman, she was good too, I think. We'll see. And you'll see, and sometimes, when we had them and then they faded out. You remember we offered? So I'll check to see who I can grab I- my claws on, right? And one of the things that people that come early, that's that's the test. If they're there, if they're there early, it shows something right there. You almost, if you had to have one question or one attribute, you see it. Okay, great. So I think we're done. What else do we need to do before Wednesday? Okay, fine. We don't need, because we already have it. It's good that we have that Monday off. And then we'll discuss it afterwards. Okay, and how's Sebastian working out? Okay, fantastic. And I saw, you remember he was the one student that was, did you see that? He was, what? Oh, okay, perfect, perfect. And it was interesting how many accounting majors we had. We used to never have like more than one, so I guess it's now in. Okay, great. So we'll see you. Everything's good. Take care. Ciao. End meeting for all. And I stop my Zoom.